Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of Gamestack Podcast, Backlog to the Future. I'm Shalene, and joining me today is Vendortron.
Welcome, sir or madam.
And Rick McVick.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Guys, I'm so happy to see you today.
Yeah. How are you guys doing? Wow.
What do you mean,
I'm just kidding. I am thoroughly glad to be back home after
Whoa.
being out of state and being with you guys.
Indeed.
Yeah, you've been on a business trip, hey?
Down by the ocean.
Well, I've been house sitting for the last week. It's been
Oh,
quite nice, very solitude. As you can see, I'm not in the regular
So this isn't
place.
a green screen behind you?
This is not a green screen. There, I've got Doggo with me.
So Dog Meat, the unofficial fourth host of the
Yeah.
podcast.
Aw.
I went to the pets, so I put him in the Mini the other day, and we went for a drive. Hey, what are you doing? Get back in your chair.
He wants to be a part of the show.
Yeah, he does. And I wanted to get him doggles, but I couldn't find
that
any.
would be so precious.
Yeah, I couldn't find any.
Can we just describe this good boy for our audio listeners?
So this is everyone. This is Gordy. Say hi, Gord. Say hi, Gord. And he is my sister's golden retriever, and he's a good boy. Aren't you a good boy? Yeah.
the best
Oh,
boy.
there's
I'm
the
pretty
paw.
sure
There's the
he's
paw.
very sweet.
He's,
he puts the paw out. And
He's
then
an
he wants
aged
to-
boy too, isn't he?
He's like 5, I think.
Oh really? Oh,
Yeah.
He looks like an
Okay.
older pup.
Okay.
he does. He's wise beyond his years.
Yeah. Anyway, I've
So I'm-
greatly enjoyed the doggo pictures.
No. Gosh, stay. So I'm currently in this like little kid chair, you guys, because my sister has this like
Penchant for little things.
she has kids, so and I can't sit far away because then I'd be yelling across the room. So
By the way, that's a perfect camera angle for
It is. It's
Doggo's
so
head right there
perfect.
above your shoulder.
I know, right? It's just perfect.
Looks
So.
like you have a tiny dog on your shoulder. So great. So guys, welcome. Big hello to everybody who's in the chat today. We are very glad to see you as well. And go ahead and host the show. Give us a follow if you're new here. Tell your friends. Thank you for sharing the show. This is the point of the show at which we would normally shout out people who left us a 5-star review on iTunes. We didn't get any this time, so no such luck there. But we love you anyway, and if you leave us a review on iTunes, we will shout you out on the show. What was that, Rick?
I was gonna say iTunes must have been down.
That
They
has
must have-
to be
yeah.
it.
Yeah. They
That
stopped.
has to be it.
They stopped.
Massive iTunes failures.
The amount of 5 stars we got must have DDoS'd their servers.
Exactly.
We could just blame Comcast, though. I'd be happy with that.
It's always them.
So guys, today we have planned a lovely show for you with some great and amazing video game news, a Gamestack segment, some gameplay stories, emails, and also challenge. We have a challenge recap and a new challenge, and a little special segment to go along with that challenge, I believe. Is that correct, Vendortron?
Special segment?
Didn't you plan a special segment? Never mind.
No, I said I had a segment to peg after news.
I'm like, no.
So, speaking of news, let's pick up the burning embers of this podcast and move on into the news. As always, huge thank you to Joseph Tao for compiling the news for us into a lovely digestible format. We're gonna open up with the video games releasing this month. Vendortron, do you want to roll through this?
Sure, absolutely. I'm just going to blow through them because there is quite a bit. But this is, all for the whole month of August. August 1st, we have Yakuza 0 for PC coming out, which is obviously already out. And today we have, August 3rd, WarioWare Gold for 3DS is coming out. We also have on August 7th...
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you see the tweet from Nintendo?
No.
Nintendo made this tweet this morning that was like, "Wah, ha ha ha! Like, and it went for this whole, like, 250 character block of text of wah, wah, ha, ha. And then the icons changed to It's a Me, Wario.
Nice.
It was so funny. It was so funny.
Wow.
So that's what they
That's
did
awesome.
to celebrate WarioWare's release.
Oh.
Sweet.
That explains
Nice.
a
Well,
lot.
So that comes out on 3DS. So hopefully you guys can have a chance to play it. Shalene, on your new 3DS, maybe.
Indeed.
August 7th, we've got Overcooked 2 coming out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. We also have Dead Cells
I read that as
coming out
Overwatch
on
2.
all four. Yeah, Overwatch 2. Wouldn't that be exciting?
I
That would
was like,
break.
wow, that was
That would
quick.
break the internet.
Scoop!
That would. For those of you listening, I can confirm that it is not Overwatch 2. There is no release of Overwatch 2 this month. Just need to be clear on that. August 9th, we've got Okami HD coming out on Switch and Monster Hunter World coming out on PC. How exciting. August 10th, Madden NFL 19, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and We Happy Few coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC as well.
Gonna have to jump back into that one, see what's changed.
Jumping ahead to August 14th and 15th, we've got Death's Gambit coming out on PC and PS4, The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 1 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and World of Warcraft Battle of Azeroth coming out on PC. And on the 15th, State of Mind, which is coming out on PC, Mac, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. August 21st, we've got Shenmue 1 and 2 coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. August 24th, F1 2008. What is that?
Racing.
That's Formula 1.
Formula 1. PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Little Dragons Cafe as well on the 24th on PS4 and Switch. August 28th, we've got a rollout of a schwack load of games, including Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate coming out on Switch, Pro Evolution Soccer 2019 coming out on PS4, Xbox One, PC, Yakuza Kiwami 2 coming out on PS4, Strange Brigade, PS4, Xbox One, PC, Blade Strangers, PS4, Switch, and PC, Victor Vran Overkill Edition on Switch, and Donut County coming out on iOS, Mac, PS4.
I don't know
and
what that is,
PC.
but I want it. Donut
Yeah, it
County.
sounds
What a
pretty
name for a
entertaining.
video game.
Donut County. I wonder if it's like a version of Overcooked donut style.
I'm hoping that it's like an indie police game.
Oh, Shalene.
Here,
that's the
let's see
best.
here. It's in the game, the player moves a hole to swallow objects, then makes the hole increase in size.
Oh, so it's
Yep.
more about donut holes than donuts
I
themselves.
guess
Well, don't you mean Timbits?
Yeah, Timbits.
Game
They
about
probably
Timbits?
wanted to call it Timbit County, but
Yeah, copyrights.
yeah.
Timbit
Anyways,
2.
on
That's
August
what they would call the second one.
Timbit 2.
Oh, that's so good.
That is pretty good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, man. We should like patent the rights to that. I hope Tim Hortons isn't listening. They're going to make millions on that idea. Anyways, the last release, August 31st, we've got Divinity, The Original Sin 2 coming out on PS4, Xbox One.
How is it the original
And,
sin if this is the second one?
I don't know. Original Sin 2. This is from the internet, Shalene. The internet doesn't lie, okay? And last but not least, Naruto to Boruto Shinobu Striker coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
My only problem with all of this is they're not releasing a game on my birthday.
That's...
They've left it out.
Oh.
How dare they?
Well,
The nerve of them. Maybe they're
lame.
going to surprise you.
No, no, they never will.
Surprise, another No Man's Sky update.
Probably. It's been about one a day.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's what we got for the month of August. Stay tuned on the next episode of Gamestack Podcast early September for a release of all the games that are coming out that month.
Indeed. Thank you very much,
Spyro.
Fender. Spyro.
yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time we do a show, Sarah's like, "You talking about Spyro tonight?"
I love
'Cause
how
I'll
much
watch.
your wife
I'll
loves
watch if you're talking
Spyro.
about Spyro. But
So-
every other time, if it's no Spyro.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So, guys, can you guess what the highest selling console was for the month of June?
Xbox One.
Vendor, what's your guess?
Switch.
It was the NES Classic. So
Wow.
Yeah.
So Nintendo.
That's
the
insanity.
NES Classic. It returned for a few days this June. I think it's still in stock now. But after selling out in 2016, they brought it back. It was only available for a few days in the month of June. And the little console topped NPD charts, selling more than PlayStation 4, Switch, or Xbox One for the month of June.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it really?
Hey man, at $59,
$59
For 30 games?
is a steal for 30
Mhm.
games. And those games include Super Mario Brothers, Metroid, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Pac-Man.
you know, I'm
Can't beat
gonna
it.
have to pick this up. I wonder if we could stream it.
Oh yeah, it
Probably.
has HDMI. out,
Right.
so-
Right. I'm gonna have to pick
Yeah.
this up because I want to
Indeed.
get back to some Donkey Kong and Super Mario Brothers.
Fantastic. Maybe we'll make it the highest selling console in July as well.
The three of us.
Nostalgia is just such a selling point for this thing. It blows my mind. Blows my mind that they're beating out PS4, and it's just amazing to me.
NES, man. A lot of people, like, I don't know a friend's house that didn't have an NES.
Yeah.
When
And
I
the
was younger.
people, this isn't just for gamers, it's for people that maybe don't necessarily still play games, you know. It has a wider market
Yeah.
because
yeah.
of the nostalgia.
I was going to say that, like, you know, Shakespeare kind of had it wrong when he said parting is such sweet sorrow. It's nostalgia is such sweet sorrow.
Indeed.
Because it's like bittersweet. You're like, oh man, I played this as a kid. I'm 30 now.
But it's okay because there's a new one.
Oh, it's fine.
I can just play it all over again.
But the good thing is with this price point is half those games you're gonna be like super nostalgic for. Start them and you're like, man, I can't play this
not
anymore.
hold up as
I know,
well
like
as
this
I
is
expected
terrible.
it to.
This is so bad. Oh man, I tried to go back to L.A. Noire.
Right.
Like, oh, this is actually a lot worse than I thought it was.
Ah.
But it's so good. Like the storyline is just so great, right?
Yeah, the
The
game did
faces
have a
hold up.
lot of weak points,
Yeah.
though. I love that game, though. I want to play it now. So, the dog.
He's got an itch, guys.
Oh,
Oh, there he
he's
goes.
going to get some privacy there.
Yeah. Too much showtime.
Oh, man, the dog. That's working
Speaking
real
of
well.
showtime, I got 10 new followers this week, you guys, and guess what? All of them had beards.
Oh, wow.
All of them had beards.
So it's like the Brotherhood of the Beard.
So something is happening. Something's happening, you guys.
Wow. That's
you feel
amazing.
it tingling in your beard.
Yeah. Gordy. Gonna like knock stuff over. Okay. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, guys. So Xbox Scarlet is the rumored name of the next console from Microsoft. We've heard some rumors about it. At E3, Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, just happened to mention casually on the Xbox showcase stage that work on the next generation Xbox was in progress, which I thought was really strange. Instead of doing a big announcement, he just like, oh yeah, we're working on that. But now we've heard a couple of rumors. He used the plural devices, so maybe it's more than one. But according to a report from the tech site Thurrott, Microsoft is planning to make a traditional console as well as a streaming box as a cheaper option. So, yeah, that's pretty strange, isn't it? I really don't think we have the infrastructure in the United States for many people to be streaming video games.
You know, this is like when people think that like everyone should just jump to electric cars and we forget about the electrical grid and infrastructure.
Exactly.
Like Britain's using like all but like 3%, I think it was, of their entire capacity for electricity.
Yeah.
Like that's all they have like left after. And so like if everyone hooks up electric cars, blackouts, brownouts, that's it. this is the same concept. Like, if everyone's streaming from like some central hub, like we don't have the bandwidth capability in the United States, at least yet. I mean, we're still on, and coaxial's really crazy good. Don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know, that bandwidth isn't there. And then, you know, with Comcast, when they're like, yeah, you're paying for 200 down, but you're really only getting like 100 down.
It's the same here.
Yeah. So
the guy's like, yeah, well, I mean, it looks like you're supposed to get 200, but
It
really
looks
you're only
like-
getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's the same idea with like electric cars. It's a great idea. It's a good concept, an excellent concept. It'd be amazing, but it's gonna be a long time.
Yeah.
It does make sense that this is something they're planning, though, because of Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass.
True.
Which is basically, you know, Netflix for games. It makes sense that this would be the next logical step.
There was a
don't know.
company that tried the streaming thing,
Yeah.
and went bust, didn't it? Like a couple years ago.
Let's see. I think GameFly may have done that for a while.
No, it wasn't
No?
GameFly.
On Live. Joseph Tao says on
That
Live.
might have been it.
Yeah. And then PlayStation bought them and turned that infrastructure into PS Now? Maybe?
But it's the solution we deserve, but not the one we're ready for.
Another interesting thing is that when I was doing the research for Gamestack this week, all the articles I was finding mentioned that Microsoft's cloud computing services were comprising like 33% of the company's revenue. It makes sense that they would try to apply that to their gaming ecosystem as well. Interesting. Oh, Sony bought Gaikai and incorporated them. Thank you, Joseph. Gosh, I was just striking out all over there. That was.
Well, that's why we have
It's
Joseph
not
in the
good.
chat.
I know he's the best fact checker.
Keeps us on the straight and narrow.
Indeed, his encyclopedic knowledge of game news.
Resident scribe.
So, guys, did you guys play a little game called Hellblade? I don't know if you've heard of it.
I think so.
Yeah,
Wait a
I
minute.
think
Didn't
that-
they get bought out?
Hellblade is potentially a game that you guys have heard us talk about on this show before. It was our game of the year last year. We don't have enough good things to say about Hellblade. We've talked about it a lot, and
It's amazing.
now starting on the 31st, so already now by the time you're hearing this. It is available as a VR experience on Oculus and Vive.
Nope.
That was my
Man.
reaction as well. That
I
was-
couldn't even get through the game on a screen.
Yes, it was a
Nah, I'm into
very, very intense experience. Just on a little
Like-
small computer monitor.
Yeah, like PTSD after that.
Oh, you know what? A buddy of mine has a Steam VR, or not a Steam VR, but he has a VR. It hooks up to his Steam.
Interesting.
Oh,
He's-
you should
he's-
check it out. You should-
He's coming over Sunday. Maybe
Yes.
maybe I'll stream. Maybe I'll stream Hellblade. If
Oh my goodness, do it. Do it.
I'll
Oh
see if
man,
that's
that
a
would be bad.
That would
So
be
I just like to
amazing.
pipe up and say yes. Joseph and Tao in the chat says yes. Vendor Microsoft bought Ninja Theory.
Right.
So
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay.
I honestly
we've
don't
all
know
been
how I
okay.
feel about that.
That
I
is probably why it's only available for Oculus and Vive and not the PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
That's
At least
a
it
good
wasn't
point.
EA
Yeah.
that bought him.
Yeah,
If you,
'cause
I
they
know
would've
they'd already
just
be
died
dragging
out.
them out to the parking lot, put a bullet in their head. But if you own the Steam version of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, you get the VR version for free. And we here at Gamestack take no responsibility if you have a heart attack or any kind of panic from playing this game in VR, because oh my goodness. So speaking of games that do an interesting take on Norse mythology, God of War. Let's talk about God of War. Another Norse mythology game that I loved very much. God of War had tremendous sales in its release month. Digital sales alone were $131 million during the first month of the game's release. That's twice as many sales as Witcher 3 and more than twice as many sales as Uncharted 4. So during the same time period. Thought that was pretty impressive, and it really does show pretty definitively that there is absolutely a demand for quality, strong, single-player narrative experience in gaming. So
totally.
Interesting.
that was pretty great. Pretty great.
Did that release in August? No, I mean
No.
July.
It was like March or April. I don't
that's
remember.
what I thought.
Let me click through. Here. That's why we have the link here.
April 20th. Joseph
April.
Tal again
Yeah,
with the save.
April.
I couldn't, for some reason, I was thinking it was like last month for some weird reason. It's like, man,
No,
this
no,
year's
it
moving
wasn't that
so
recently. No, it was, so it was April 20th, so it only had a third of the month to sell all those copies. That's pretty
That's
amazing.
crazy.
That's just the digital sales. That's amazing.
I had
Amazing.
Uncharted 4 in my hand today, and I didn't buy it, and I'll tell you why later.
So good. So good. That's right. All the 420 jokes about God of War. That's right. Same day as Labo. Same day as Nintendo Labo. Another tremendous success. Not so much. So speaking of God of War, Cory Barlog was the director of God of War, and his dad, J.M. Barlog, is doing a novelization of God of War, which is pretty cool. J.M. Barlog has done a lot of work in writing before. Specifically, he's written a bunch of YA fiction, and I believe he worked on the novelization for God of War 2 back in the day. So
YA fiction?
yeah, young adult.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
So I'll probably check out a God of War novel. I think I would be into that. So we'll update you again for that when that's out. So yeah, indeed. Why is this here? Should this not be here? Should this be later on?
You can put it wherever you'd like to put it.
I would super like to move it later on.
Yeah, that would not belong there.
Yeah.
Can somebody do that?
I got it.
I'm sorry. While we're rebuilding the show on the show, let's talk about the free games for the month of July if you are a member of one of the following services. Xbox Games with Gold. If you're an Xbox Live Gold member... Oh dear, now everything moved.
Well, you...
If you're an Xbox Live Gold member, you can get Forza Horizon 2 August 1st through 31st. You can get For Honor August 16th through September 15th. I'm surprised that For Honor is already available as one of these free games. That's
Really? A launch title that is basically just a glorified arcade game?
For Honor was not a launch title.
What am I getting it confused with?
Rise, Son of Rome?
That's it. That's
yeah. For Honor released last year. It's the one with... it had a bit of a rocky launch as well. You can play as like a samurai or a Viking or... I don't remember what the other... Maybe that was a Roman centurion.
It's still kind of a glorified arcade game, if I'm thinking correctly.
True. Yeah, I think it kind of is, but still,
So that
it's
makes sense.
new enough that I'm a little surprised to see it here.
Yeah, maybe that's just a testament of how well it is not doing.
Indeed. Anyways, this is probably the only way I would ever check that game out. So Xbox 360 backwards compatible titles for the month. Dead Space 3 is available August 1st through the 15th. The third best Dead Space game, as I understand. It might actually come in behind the Wii arcade shooter, so maybe potentially the fourth best Dead Space game out there.
It's meant to. It's three too many.
Indeed.
Well, two too many. The first one was good.
I need to play Dead Space 2 someday. I love Dead Space 1 an awful lot. But it was...
You should hold on to that memory as like the Dead Space 1 existed as a little shining moment of survival horror in time, and then just forget the rest happened because it's going to ruin
I've
those
heard
experiences.
Dead Space 2 is pretty good, and I'm not somebody who thinks that a sequel can ruin my experience with the first game. I've heard Dead Space 2 is pretty good, so
Okay.
I'm going to try it someday, but I'm scared.
I've played 3, don't do 3.
I'm scared of things.
Don't do 3.
I'm scared. Oh, don't forget the puzzle arcade game, right? So Dead Space 3 is the 5th best Dead Space game.
Oh my gosh. It's like Resident Evil. Like there's like 1,500 of them in between like the numerical ones.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
With 4 being the best.
Disney Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two, is available August 16th through 30th. So I've never played that. I know absolutely nothing about it. It stars Mickey, presumably.
I'm sure it's epic too.
I'd also assume that it's a co-op because The Power of Two? I don't know. I'm making
What
this
if it
up.
wasn't?
This is entirely...
Gosh, Donald.
What if it's like a hardcore military shooter?
Oh, that'd be great.
Starring
Like,
Mickey.
do you remember Sarge's Heroes?
Oh,
back in the
man.
day? The army men, the little green army men that you play as little. Oh man, those were the coolest shooters.
Dr. TFA says, isn't that just Kingdom Hearts without the kingdom and the hearts? Oh, man. If you're a PlayStation Plus member, your offerings are a little better. Mafia 3 for the PlayStation 4. Mafia 3 was not as good as
Great.
Mafia 2, but still pretty darn good.
Soundtrack was,
Maybe the best licensed soundtrack ever, right?
and actually one of my favorite engineers mastered that.
No kidding.
Yeah. He's he does a lot of good music, and he did that game, and that's probably why it sounds so good.
And the realistic driving mode, did you try the realistic driving mode?
It's all I play in.
Oh, it's so fun, man. Get one of those old muscle cars going like 130, and you're just not stopping for anything.
Nor turning.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. So good. Dead by Daylight, that's like a 4v1 survival, I think maybe?
Yeah.
For the PlayStation 3, you can get Bound by Flame or Serious Sam 3 BFE. If you have a Vita, Draw Slasher and Space Hulk are your offerings for the month of August.
Nice.
And for Amazon Prime members, you can get some Twitch Prime games. Anti-Hero, which is I think it was a strategy game in which you build a thieves guild. Death Squared is a puzzle game starring some squares. Jotun Valhalla Edition follows a Viking warrior. It's like an RPG. SteamWorld Dig, Wizardry 6, 7, and 8. So you can check all those out if you have Twitch Prime.
I will try none of them.
You will try none of them? None of them?
I'll get to why.
Okay. Well, that's all we have for the free games with services for the month of August. Vendertron, let's do your thing now.
Well, guys, if you're feeling like that is too many games and that you already have too many games that you want to play, guess what? It's Backlog Week.
Oh, I see what you were
Yay!
doing there. I see what you were doing.
Happy Backlog Week.
Dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, and here on We Just Love Games, Gamestack Podcast, we want to bring you the top 5 tips for tackling your video game backlog.
Ooh,
And in the
I need
spirit of
these
Backlog
tips.
Week, we've put together a few things to help you tackle the list that you have that is sitting on the back shelf and
Your game stack,
Staring
as
at
it
you.
were.
your game stack. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, there will always be more games than we have time to play.
I know, it's sad.
Thank God for that, though, right? What if we were in a world where it was like one video game was released every...
Don't say it.
Yeah. So
Or like if 99 video games dropped out of a plane and only one of them got to survive.
yeah,
Ugh.
yes, something like that. Yeah.
Don't bring Battle Royale into this.
Anyways, I think that the problem becomes not finding the time to play the previous year's releases prior to new games coming out. At least that's the problem for me. So if you find it hard to get to your backlog, it's Backlog Week. So maybe take a step back and attend to
Your log?
your list of stacks of games.
Can I say that Backlog Week's better than Shark Week?
Yeah. First thing on the 5 tips to Backlog Week we have listed for you guys is, for many of you who are feeling that playing video games is difficult, you're finding it hard to find time to play, take a little bit of time each week and set it aside, make the time for it to just sit down and get back to the storyline of the game that you were previously playing that you stopped playing. We know that adulting is hard, and oftentimes We let months lapse without even firing up a game, not even once. It's a little difficult, right? Number 2 on our list, if you don't have time or money to play games that you want to play, get yourself into watching Let's Plays. You can find a lot of Let's Plays on YouTube, like Days of Our Life is Strange, brought to you by We Just Love Games Network. What?
I hear it's really good series.
Yeah, it's really good, starring a really gorgeous and handsome robot.
Yes, indeed.
And his lovely co-host, this radiant lady that always wears ball gowns on air.
Indeed.
And coming from a viewer of Days of Our Life is Strange, it is wonderful to watch.
That said, you can't play video games at the office, but nobody told you that you can't watch them.
Well, actually, some of their bosses probably did tell them exactly that.
Well, we don't endorse watching video games at work, but if you are if you are in a certain location out of eyes, that's a great way to get more into video games without actually playing them. It's just to listen and watch Let's Plays. Twitch is a great place for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 3 on our list, get into streaming your gameplay. Speaking of Twitch, which, I warn, it can be a little bit expensive and time consuming. So if you find that that's not really for you, we also recommend that you record your own playthroughs, and you can post those videos to YouTube or some other form of media. And I recommend a good example of this is to check out Calvi House on YouTube. He does a full walkthrough of all of the Fallout games. He's pretty fantastic. And doing those Let's Plays and those playthroughs, they are, you're playing a game, so you're getting through your backlog, right?
Yeah.
Number 4 on the list, play with friends and family and make it a regular thing. I know Rick and Shalene and myself, we like to play games together. And so that in and of itself for me is tackling the backlog. And last but not least, listen to your favorite gaming podcasts like Gamestack and That Fallout Show right here on WJLG for the latest in gaming news.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
And, I want to add to this real quick. For those of you listening on the podcast or after the show's up, tell us what you do to tackle your backlog, and you can tweet that at us at We Just Love Games. You can email that to us also at info@WeJustLoveGames. And if you're on our Discord, let us know in there. It'd be really cool to see what you guys do when you guys have a stack of games you just got to get through.
Yeah. So it's difficult to find time to play games, right, guys?
It is.
Let's say you've both got Teslas. I know what you're thinking. Where is he going with this?
I have multiple Teslas, 3 or 4 of them out back.
I got 20.
What if I told you that you could play Sea of Thieves right in your very own Tesla?
Ooh.
It wouldn't surprise me with their celebration mode.
Elon Musk tweeted earlier this week, if you're into video game development, consider applying to Tesla. We want to make super fun games that integrate the center touchscreen, phone, and car in real life. So
Wow.
Tesla is planning to bring video games to their vehicles.
What about I would like to have Pokemon Go on my
hold
car
on.
screen.
Just hold your horses. Games like Tempest, Missile Command, and Pole Position will be coming, the latter of which would be linked to the car's steering wheel while the vehicle is in stationary.
Awesome.
That's so good.
Of one of the hottest suggestions for Mr. Musk this week was Pokemon Go.
Yes.
Another person also tweeted out, Elon, get Todd on the phone right now.
Archon said in the chat, Skyrim on Tesla.
and so with that story in mind, what games would you guys suggest?
Tetris would be a good one, I think, to have on the steering wheel.
Can you imagine people sitting in their cars?
I would crash the car. I would absolutely crash the car playing Tetris.
Well, you play it in station. You don't play it while you're driving.
What if you had GTA on the steering wheel in your car?
That would be so sweet. Coming up on like a head-up display.
Joseph Chow says, unfortunately, if you play Pokemon Go in your Tesla, kills the battery in 30 minutes.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Fallout Shelter would be cool.
Can you imagine
That would
just
be
like
fun.
sitting, waiting at the mall for grandma to take her dry cleaning, and she comes out 30 minutes later and the car won't start because you've been playing video games the whole time?
They would have to integrate solar panels on the roof to like
Right.
keep it charged as you play.
So
But
great.
Mario Kart, man.
Pretty cool. Could you imagine if it had like a Pit-Boy layout, like the whole center console's a Pit-Boy?
And it
That'd be
shows
so
the
cool.
condition of the car. So like when you got a flat, it would be tire crippled.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Have you guys seen the size of the center console
It's
screens?
huge. Yeah,
They're
buddy.
huge. They're just like massive.
Oh goodness.
Buddy of mine has a Tesla plus Ludicrous. It's the one that does Ludicrous, and it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
It literally
So-
It literally goes to plaid.
Ugh. Anyways, that's really cool. Not a legitimate reason, I don't think, to buy a Tesla though.
Yeah, I have to go too far to get a Tesla. I think I would
You'd have
run
to
out
get
of
two
battery
Teslas.
on the
Yeah,
way.
you would run out
One
of
It would be a
battery.
relay.
And get in
Drop
that
off
plug
one
it in.
Tesla. How funny. So, do you know what Tesla stock really tanked this week? And that
It
leads
did.
us, it did. It took a deep dive, and that leads us right into Gamestack, our stock market segment. We've got to get a bumper for this.
Yeah.
Been gone all week.
Earnings calls for basically all the major gaming companies happened yesterday, and most gaming companies were performing better than expected in terms of revenue. Microsoft is at 107.57, up over $3 since the last time that we did a show. And these
Wow.
numbers, guys, they're always going to be at least like a day late because I don't have time
Buck short.
to do GameStop like up to date on the same day.
What Shalene's really trying to say is we were probably the most unreliable source of investing.
Indeed. Microsoft is expected to reach an all-time high in the next quarter. Benjamin Zacks of Yahoo Finance suggests in a recent article that Microsoft is a strong buy right now because of the company's strength in cloud computing. Intelligent cloud revenues accounting for nearly a third of Microsoft's fiscal 2018 revenues.
Wow.
So that's pretty surprising to me.
Yeah.
Take-Two is at $126, down almost $1.50 since last time. Q2 earnings were up slightly higher than expected. I think it was like a nickel. I didn't write it down here, but I think it was about a nickel. Sony is at $55.28, up nearly $3 since the last time we did a show. The company's earnings have grown about 5% this year. That's pretty strong, steady gains from Sony.
You think console exclusives?
I think everything else that Sony does.
Except console exclusives.
I think gaming is probably not the biggest part of that. Although, you know, there are nearly a billion PS4s out there, I think. So that's
And you know what I bet
not
you it
chump
was, Shalene?
change.
You know what it was? It was the Spider-Man edition.
It was a Spyro.
yeah, it's Spyro for sure.
The build up to that.
So guys, EA is at $130.47, down $17 since the last time we did a show. I am so glad I sold my EA stock before this drop.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
sold it just in time, man. Just in time.
Is that today's numbers? Like, what did they close
That was
at?
yesterday's numbers. That was after close yesterday.
Oh man, they're at 130.87. So they've got a 1.73% gain.
Gained
but
40 cents. MarketWatch.com states that along with Facebook, Netflix, and Tesla, EA has taken one of the most brutal beatings this week in terms of stock numbers.
I can't
Interesting.
imagine why.
Oh, goodness. Goodness,
Maybe-
the sarcasm.
If you buy, they're like, you can buy one of our stocks at 130.47, but any additional stocks that you buy on top of the $130, there's also like an additional $5 charge for, extra stock fee.
You know, I think EA seems like one of those really like shady companies, untrustworthy. But there might be some money to be made there. in the fact that they keep tanking and then keep rising and then tanking and then rising.
Right.
If one
Yeah.
could watch the tabloids and figure out the right time to buy and sell.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad I sold my little EA stock.
We are too.
Got it just in time. I still haven't bought a new stock. I haven't decided what to buy.
Yeah, so you got to claim that on your tax, right?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I had to claim it.
$40 in capital gains.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to claim it last year because last year I did pretty well on Take-Two. I earned like $40 on a Take-Two stock last year. Activision.
Do you guys have tax-free savings accounts?
I don't know.
In the U.S.
I never really looked that hard.
Oh,
No.
see, so there's a little lucrative. I mean, it seems lucrative in Canada, but we have tax-free savings accounts, and you can actually roll over a certain percentage of capital gains every year without being taxed.
Cool. Are you
From
taxed when you
investments.
take it out?
No, it's tax-free.
Wow.
Just to encourage you to
I
save
don't-
or what?
Well, you're eligible for I think $5,500 annually, dating backdated to 2009. So if a person made $100,000 on the stock market, they
Yeah.
could potentially throw 60,000 of that into tax-free savings and not have to pay any tax on it.
That doesn't sound like a thing that we would
This is a
have down
government
here.
mandated thing.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
crazy.
reasonably
Yeah,
confident that's not a thing here.
No, that's too cool of a thing for us to have. That's like, no, what? Free money? No.
Activision Blizzard is at $73.75, down $6 after a weak earnings call. My personal opinion is that I think this recent anger over the World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth may reflect in future stock records for Activision Blizzard. Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah.
I don't follow WoW.
So I don't either, but I do follow a bunch of people who follow WoW, and
very reliable.
one of their recent trailers had a character that was very popular, who's turned sort of evil, went sort of dark side,
Really?
and people were like kind of fired up about this. Yes, the burning of the poor world tree is what Joseph Tao says. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. I forget the name of the character who did it, but people are upset about this. And I wonder if this is going to hit Activision Blizzard in the pocketbook. Hopefully Destiny 2 Forsaken will make up a bit of this damage. I know people are really looking forward to that.
People piss me off sometimes. Like, wait till this story comes out.
Yeah.
Like, just you don't know anything from a trailer. Like, if we went by the trailer for like any Star Wars movie, you wouldn't see any of them. Like, they're ridiculous.
Yeah. We'll see. Nintendo has risen to 38,730 yen. Is that right, yen? They have a strong earnings call, and I expect some more growth here from Nintendo. GameStop is holding pretty steady at $14.62. Ubisoft has dropped by nearly €10 to 94.26 euro, and that's still double the price it was a year ago. So they're doing pretty good. And that's GameStop for this week.
Joseph Town in the chat says technically the trailers for Star Wars Episode 1 were a lot better than the movie.
They were really good trailers. They're really good. Sylvanas. That's right, Archon. Sylvanas. I'm pretty sure that is the character's name that I was referring to. So, yeah, that's GameStop.
Cool.
So, I'm gonna use the same. I'm gonna just cheap out and use the same segue from last week. Besides the stock market, what have you guys been playing?
Well, before we get to that, I have the thing I want to talk about.
Let's talk about it.
I was down in Virginia Beach over the weekend, or over the past week, for a business trip, and I saw something there that I realized that a lot of gamers don't think about anymore. We don't take into account this thing, and we don't talk about it. We're so busy talking about consoles and handhelds and everything, we forget about the awesome thing known as the arcade and
Oh, yeah.
games.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, what are the top 10 arcade games out there? You know what I mean? So I dug around a little bit, and according to ranker.com, and I double checked this on a couple different things, that they pretty much correlate across the board. Top 10 retro and new arcade machines. Can you guys take a guess at let's start with 10. We'll start with 10. And we'll go down from there. So at 10, 1980 Defender, which I've never played. That's number 10. Have you guys ever played Defender?
Can we make guesses what's in the 10 first?
Oh, if you want to, sure.
So I guess Pong is in there. I also guess Judge Dredd is in there.
Okay.
And probably Road Rash.
All right. Is that Road Rash?
That's Sega Genesis.
Okay. That's 3. Are you going to go for all 10?
No, I'm just guessing those 3.
Okay,
What about you,
okay.
Shalene?
Pac-Man.
Oh, God, that was stupid.
Street Fighter.
Oh, that
Alright.
was also stupid.
Let's see. Galaga.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
And I'm also going to throw in Area 51 because I had a ton of fun with that one as a child.
Yes, me too. So, Shalene got 2 of them. Vendor, you got none, except Pong is 14, and that's 1970.
Oh.
The other ones I don't even see. Oh, Street Fighter was 21. I don't see. I don't see any of the other ones that you're referring to. Anyway,
So what do you got? What do you got on the
top 10? We got Defender. I've never played Defender personally, but there we are. Number 9, 1983, Mario Brothers was
Oh,
on.
yeah.
I forgot about that. 1982, coming in at number 8, Dig Dug, which was a very popular.
Dig
very
Dug.
popular.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 7, 1980, and this was a personal favorite of mine, Centipede. If you guys played that. I played
so
that for the
good.
Atari 26.
Is that where you like get the ball and then it gets longer and then you have to like go around
No,
and get
that's
the next
Snake.
ball and it gets
Centipede is it's like a snake almost made of segments that comes down through like a different maze, and you've got to shoot it and
It's
get rid of all the
shooter,
segments
yeah.
before it gets to the bottom.
Oh, right.
Number 6, 1982, Mrs. Pac-Man.
Pac-Man was good.
Yeah, at number, which I have never played Miss Pac-Man before. So, number 5, 1979, Asteroids, which I have played a ton of.
Hi, Mom.
What?
Mom just brought me a bottle of water. So
Now here's where things get pretty typical, as you would expect. But coming in at number 4, 1981, Galaga, a game that I loathe because it's super difficult, but it's super fun. Coming in at number 3, 1978, Space Invaders.
how did I
Oh.
forget Space Invaders?
I know, right?
I'm the
Yep.
worst.
Hey,
Ah.
I never got any of them, so quit complaining.
Like, we should all be kicked off the podcast for not thinking of Space Invaders.
Yeah, Rick, we really should have talked about this before the show.
No, this is fun. This is what makes the podcast exciting in the moment, live, you know? Coming in at number 2, 1981, we've got Donkey Kong. So that's the one with the little barrels that roll down, and you have to jump over them as Mario.
Yeah.
Technically, as Jumpman.
Jumpman. Sorry. See, this is why
That
we
was
should be fired.
fun. Yeah. See, okay.
Coming in at, I got one more. Number 1. Can you guys guess what number 1 is going to be? 1980, Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, yeah. You know, the sad part is that I've played all of those, and I've played all of them in an arcade.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Like, one of my favorite games, and now, when I was younger, we would go over to my aunt and uncle's house, and they were kind of, I wouldn't say wealthy, but they had some money. They had he had his own pool service, like he would build pools, in-ground pools. And they had a really sick pool with a slide and a deep end. It was amazing. They had an arcade game in their garage that you could open up the front and click the quarter counters to like give you a bunch of quarters so you could play the game. And that game, I don't know if anyone's played this in the chat room, let me know. Commando, 1985. It was so much fun. It was a vertical scrolling shooter, and it got super difficult. I never made it really past the first level. It was really hard. But I remember that one being a lot of fun. I played Golden Axe a lot. in the arcades. And a couple of the newer ones that I really enjoyed were Time Crisis.
Don't
You guys know
remember
those?
that. No, I'm not familiar with
Oh
that.
man,
No.
they had a light gun. The top would click back whenever you would fire, and you would push and you would press and depress the pedal to
That
like
sounds
take cover
fun.
and reload. And then my favorite arcade game would have to be oh, the name is escaping me now. Not Ghost Recon. I'll have to look it up. What were some arcade games that you guys played?
My favorite was absolutely Area 51.
Oh, really?
I loved it so much. They had it at a movie theater that we would go to like once a month, and when I was a kid, and I would just play Area 51 until the quarters were gone. I loved it so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. For me, it was Kid Chameleon. And
I kind of remember that.
yeah, and also Mortal Kombat.
Mm.
I played a lot of Mortal Kombat.
You were a Mortal Kombat player?
Lot of quarters, you guys.
Huh.
Yeah. A lot of slugs, actually.
Yes. Operation Ghost is the game that I was thinking of. It's another light gun rail shooter, but the gun is actually like a full-size rifle that you had to push the buttstock up against your shoulder to shoot more accurately. It had multiple selects of fire on the trigger, like you could do like burst, fully auto, or single shot, and you could like there's a little button up front that you would click, and it had multiple paths through the game. It was really good. Did you guys ever play House of the Dead?
Yes, that one was really good too.
I
Really good.
never played it. I was too scared to.
Yeah.
You know what I used to do? Once I found out you could do this, you would slug in $1 for one player and $1 for another one, and use both guns.
Yes.
I rocked double gun on that thing so much.
That's funny.
But and then for the like, there's a ton of people like talking in the chat about like the games that TMNT, great one. NFL Blitz, amazing game.
Yeah. Cruising USA.
Missile Command Rampage.
Yeah.
So
Dr. TFA says the original pay to win.
No, he's right. I spent so much money on
Yeah.
Time Crisis 2 to beat that game, but I did beat it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just thought about that. Like, we never talk about arcade games, and growing up, arcades at one point were so important to us.
They were
Yeah.
a hugely important part of our lives as children.
So I've got in the city I'm in, I've got a retro arcade. I should go check it out. I've never been there.
Arcades are making a bit of a comeback. There's a couple around me. Timeline Arcade is the one near me, and yeah, I mean it's again the nostalgic thing. So it's good to see them starting to come back a little bit. But yeah. Oh, Operation Wolf! Forgot about Operation Wolf. The other thing that's cool is near me is a company that restores old video games and pinball.
That's the one.
Pinball machines.
Oh man, I'd love to have a pinball machine.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. Captain Bones is saying, what is that game with the 4 steering wheels? Rally racing style? Was that Need for Speed?
No, well, they have a Need
Too
for
early.
Speed now, but anyway, that's we'll have to look that up real quick. Arcade Racer Rally. We'll look it up now. I don't know. There's a lot of different racing games that are out, but I don't remember what that was. But I think I know what you're talking about. It was like 4 different seats next to each other, and you could compete up to 4 people playing against each other.
Yeah.
I remember that one. But that's all I had for that. I was just thinking about that, and I was like,
That was
Cool.
super fun. That was a good
Yeah.
segment.
But what I have been playing is No Man's Sky. I played a little bit with you, Vendor.
Yeah.
I do have a freighter now because I rescued it, but I'm still back in our home galaxy.
Oh, okay.
And you can build bases on freighters now.
Perfect. We'll just be a traveling band.
Let's live in the
Yeah.
freighter.
Let's
I
live
have-
in the freighter.
I have 3 ships, which the annoying
Can I
thing
park
is,
my ship in the freighter too?
yes, you can fly and park in the ship, but when you do a jump, and I hope that they patch this. So Sean Murray, if you're listening, when you jump and say you like at one point you can't park your ships in the freighter. At least I can't like summon my ships there in the freighter, and that's annoying. I've got 3 ships. I've got a shuttle, a hauler, and a fighter. And I'd like to have them in my ship, in my
Yeah.
freighter. I love the nose.
Aww.
Oh, Captain Bones found it super off-road. Top Gun! Oh, I had Top Gun for the NES. It was so much fun. I could never land on that stupid aircraft carrier. Such a pain. Anyway, so yeah, I been playing No Man's Sky, and I've just been trying to upgrade my weapons and my ship and freighters, and just trying to make money and just have fun and build my base. Like, I want to build a cool base. I was looking at some screenshots of my old bases, and they had like landing pads and vehicles, and I don't have any of that now. What
He
is-
was chasing his tail. So.
Oh, that's so cute. The audio people are gonna be like, "Who's panting?"
Yeah.
And I think it was one of us.
It's getting hot and heavy in here. And then I played the Division a little bit last weekend with Shalene. Wasn't it last Friday that we played some Division?
Yes, it was greatly
Yeah.
fun.
And we did some more underground work. Apparently, when you hit level 40, you get the blind. It's a not an armor set. It's like the holster and backpack and stuff like that. You get like a nice cosmetic boost, and there's some cool weapons that you can get the higher rank you go in the underground DLC. Which we've been
Cool.
playing
Let's
together.
work toward that.
Yeah,
Let's do
that's
that
what I
after,
wanna do.
let's do
That's what
that
I wanna
after
do.
the show.
Okay.
I've
I'm
been
down
taking
for that.
I took a break from Destiny because there's so much to play right now. And speaking of so much to play, I walked into a GameStop today. It was weird. I blinked my eyes in the fluorescent lights of this new world. There was a place where I walked around and went, I have no memory of this place. But I found the PlayStation 4 rack, because that's why I was there. And unfortunately, and maybe this is my fault, I think Gran Turismo's are only download, but I was looking for that specifically. But then I remember Shalene telling me, you need to play Last of Us. You need to play Last of Us. And I went and I bought Last of Us Remastered for the PlayStation 4. And thank you for not spoiling it, Shalene. However, there's a really sad moment right at the opening of the game. And I was like, so this is how it's going to be.
Yeah, I maybe should have warned you about that one, actually. I have regrets.
And
dear.
it turns out the game's a lot of fun. Controls are, just clunky McClunkerson. And it doesn't help that I can't aim at all with the joystick anymore. I need a mouse and keyboard to do anything. And it's just bad. I'm like Don Knotts in Shakiest Gun in the West trying to shoot anything. Just like,
Done nuts. Jesus.
I can't hit anything. So it's just terrible. But it's a fun game. It's a lot of fun to play. I end up sneaking everywhere and then alerting everyone to where I'm at. But right now I'm still with Tess, Ellie, and me. It's still the threesome. And I know that the game predominantly is you and Ellie, so I'm kind of curious to see what happens at that moment in time. I have also purchased today all 3 DLCs for Wolfenstein 2, the Freedom Chronicles. And I'm
Whoa.
very excited to get into those because you know how much of a fan I am of the Wolfenstein games.
Yeah. Oh,
But
cool.
that's what I've been playing. I literally started Last of Us today when I got home from some work, and I played for like an hour to 2 hours of Last of Us, and realized I can't shoot anymore on a console,
Yeah.
but still have a lot of fun playing that game.
It's a
That's
really
what I've been
special
doing.
game. Really special game.
Mr. Venda, what have you been
I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky. The new release is fantastic. Boy, have they totally saved that game. And yeah, Rick and I have been playing it. It's been a lot of fun. I really like the idea that Rick was hosting the game, but when he was offline, I could load up my save and play like almost like I was playing in his game because it was the same save file
Oh, that's
with the
cool.
same data. So, but we were on 2 separate systems. So that is where I've been wanting to see gaming go for many, many years, and it's really cool to just be able to do that. And I just don't know how it works. I mean, yeah, is it on a server? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're just on the same server, but it's
I think
2
it's just-
separate files.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
But yeah,
it's cool
really-
how it works.
It's a feat.
We the planet that we're on is really cool. So there's like these floating rocks everywhere. And what do you want? Am I not
forgot
supposed to?
No. I just forgot to mention during the No Man's Sky thing. You know how I'm always asking for a space western?
Yeah.
We settled on a desert
Oh yeah. So
planet
we
with cacti.
yeah, we settled
Really?
on
Like,
this
this
planet,
must
and
be
it's a desert. It's a desert. It's awesome. There's like,
Oh,
oh
I
man,
love that.
and there's these giant creatures that look like crabs, kind of. They're like giant crustaceans, and they're just walking around. Um, it's really cool, and we found these things called hemming eggs.
Humming
and
eggs.
Humming eggs. And when you crack them open, they have these things called albumin pearls inside, and boy, have we been cashing in on those. And also the other eggs. What are they called?
I don't know, but they give you larvae that summon these awful hordes.
Yeah, they're like these mantis things, and they attack you, and they're scary, and it's definitely a two-man mission to get those eggs.
Yeah. Somebody said that they look like the creatures from Pitch Black.
Pitch black.
Yeah. They do too. So.
Yeah. Anyways, so it's been a lot of fun. Rick built his base on one floating rock, and then across the valley on another floating rock, I built my base because I couldn't actually build a base close to his. Because when you start No Man's Sky, you got to do this. What's it called?
Tutorial.
Yeah, the awakening
Awakening
tutorial. And it teaches you how to go through, like, fixing your ship and flying your ship and doing all these different quests and achievements and things. But I feel like they added procedural quests for teams. Sean Murray had tweeted something out about that earlier this week. I have to look into it.
They definitely have like a bunch of different raiding quests. I haven't seen anything that required multiple people, but yeah, it's something we haven't done yet. We haven't done a quest together to see if like we split the loots or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe
anyway, it's been a lot of fun, and you know what? The scientist in me has been scanning every rock, every weed, every creature crawling from underneath the rocks, everything. I've been scanning everything, and I'm a completionist by nature. So when you go into like the game's like tab menu, you can see what things have been discovered and what still haven't been discovered on the planet. And I have one creature left on our planet. One creature, and it's probably hiding in a cave or like underwater somewhere that's like impossible to find, but I will find it. I will find it, you guys. So yeah, No Man's Sky's been fun. I started playing The Division, which was awesome.
Yes.
I do like playing it. It gives me a very Will Smith, I Am Legend feel.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that one.
Because it's set in New York, of course. But I don't know if I would like that game if I played it by myself. It's certainly a lot more fun when you play it with more people.
I can confirm that I did not enjoy it as a solo experience, but it's all I want to play as a multiplayer thing.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, hey?
Something else that I think is really funny is that you're not super into shooters, but you're really good at them.
You are very good at shooters.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
This was your first time playing, and Rick and I have hit level 30. We've invested many hours. Rick, this is like his 5th time through, but like we'll look up and everything's dead, and you killed it.
Well, you're forgetting that I played through the Call of Duty days when they were first on like Call of Duty, like Stalingrad, like beaches in Normandy. And then I played a lot of that online too. So, shooters are not foreign to me, but I definitely, they've lost their luster on me only because it's just like I got introduced to Fallout, and then it was like quests and storylines and people that you meet and all these things and objects and Blamco mac and cheese, and I was like riveted from not shooting bullets every second.
That was a great pun.
Yeah. Well.
Riveted.
Anyways.
Rivets.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah. But The Division is fun. It's fun when you play as a team and you have tactics and you're doing all these things and maneuvers and around corners, and it's lots of fun. Life is Strange, Days of Our Life is Strange. Shalene and I finished the 4th episode last Sunday, which was absolutely heart-wrenching. This is my segue into Shalene's gameplay. but I just can't believe it, Shalene. I can't.
It's
been a roller coaster. What is happening?
It really has. This game, Vendor. I cannot wait for Sunday. I cannot
Okay,
wait.
well,
Do we have time
there's a
Sunday?
problem.
Oh no.
I'm at a wedding on Sunday.
No, cancel the wedding.
I'm sorry. I'm at a wedding on Sunday.
Well, we will figure out something to schedule Days of Our Life is Strange, the 5th episode. I cannot wait to play the 5th episode of Life is Strange.
Because you know it's coming.
Yeah.
So.
Well, one of the things that's coming, I will warn you, is like the worst stealth sequence in video game history. It's real bad. But the story, it's going to get real good. And we are going to finish it. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
As if it hasn't already gotten, like...
I know. We're just... it's so good. We're munching popcorn, crying our eyes out. It's amazing, this game. Love it so much.
Yeah, it's... I mean, we could probably talk about it. It's been out for... How long?
Yeah,
but I can't,
it's like 5 years old.
Like,
or
I can't. Okay, so we
know.
learned that Chloe was in a wheelchair because Max rewound time, which we were regretting. But Shalene, you felt that that's an inevitable thing that happens anyway.
I think so. Yeah, I think you can't avoid the Chloe wheelchair decision.
Yeah. But we figured out through a photograph that we were able to go back and kind of reverse that from happening. Get Chloe back to her regular self.
Which we did by killing her dad.
again. Mm-hmm. And then we ended up at this weird, the Vortex Club, which was messed up, and Rachel is like in the ground.
Indeed.
God rest her soul, poor Rachel. I actually did not expect that.
That was the main thing I didn't want spoiled for you, was that Rachel was buried in the junkyard. Yeah.
They buried her in a junkyard.
They did.
Wait a minute, who did? Nathan. No, Mr. Jefferson. Right?
Oh, Mr. Jefferson! I was so shocked the first time I played when it was Mr. Jefferson. I was so shocked.
The slithery snake.
I do expect him to just start ranting about synths, though, every time I hear him speak.
She was a synth. She had to be eliminated.
Yeah.
Yes, we will bring peace to the Commonwealth.
So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's still a lot of excitement left in Life is Strange. And we are probably going to be able to finish it before Life is Strange 2 next month. I'm very excited about that. Very excited.
Right on.
So, I did play Life is Strange with Vendor, and it was fab. I haven't been playing much that's new to talk to you guys about. Playing Division. We've already talked about that. It's just, the same old wonderfulness. I'm just running around sniping guys from high places, except sometimes Rick asks me to do the scan, and I throw the turret instead. So
and everyone's like, huh?
We're all stealthy.
That always happens. I go to reload, but then I end up throwing a grenade.
It's so
Could you
funny,
imagine if like a real soldier was like, I've got this habit sometimes where I go to reach for a magazine, but throw a grenade?
Yeah, that would be really bad. That would be just really bad.
Oh man, I love it. I love it so much. That's great. Division
I may have really
good
aim, but I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's really, really good, and I love that game. Can't wait for the second one. I've also been playing some more Detective Pikachu, which is an adorable little game. And it's the perfect game for me right now. I came off of Detroit Become Human, which was pretty heavy at times. I got super, super into that. And my life has been a little stressful lately with work and some other things. So I come home and I fire up Detective Pikachu on my new 3DS. And I'm smiling, It's just this silly little cutscene where Pikachu is feeding the Pidgeys, on a park bench, and it cuts back, and there's a big sign behind his head like, "Don't feed the Pidgeys." It's this charming little humorous game, and calling it a game is maybe a bit of a stretch because there aren't really even choices, you know. It's just sort of an interactive story. You walk around, you talk to the Pokemon, you talk to the people, and you solve cases, but it's very very simplistic because, well, face it, it's for children. Um but the child in me is really enjoying this charming little experience. But I haven't played much that's new, so I wanted to talk about books that I've been reading.
Ah.
Yeah, I kind of miss talking about books on the podcast. Now that we don't have that Audible sponsorship. But I thought I would just take a minute and talk about some books if you guys don't mind. I love books.
Yeah.
I read Brief Cases by Jim Butcher, which is a collection of Dresden Files short stories.
Ooh.
And this was sort of some stories that I didn't even know that I wanted. There was one from the viewpoint of Dresden's dog, which was amazing. Are you
That's
guys
funny.
familiar with the Dresden Files at all?
Yeah. I am.
Well, for Rick, it's the story of basically a wizard who is also a PI. So they're like hard-boiled private eye novels, except he's also a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry Dresden. And yeah, you're not a Harry Potter fan, so that pun was lost on you. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'll just move on.
I gotcha.
I'll just move on.
Missed it.
But it was really good. They told a lot of stories from the viewpoints of different characters who weren't Harry Dresden, and it was really interesting to see the world through the lens of these other people. So I recommend that, Brief Cases by Jim Butcher. And then I blew through a couple of novels, Stormglass and Mirrorgate by Jeff Wheeler. And Jeff Wheeler is an author that I really like. He's written some series in the past that I really like. And these actually sort of tie in to some of the things that happen in some of those past series. And something that Wheeler does that you don't really see in a lot of other authors is that he'll take a character and you'll meet this character in the first novel of a series when this character's a child. And then you'll grow up with the character and through their teenage mistakes, and then through their prime as an adult, you know, when they're making good decisions and being heroes or villains or whatever. And then eventually when they're parents and trying to convince their children not to make the same mistakes that they did. And that's come back in Stormglass and Mirrorgate. That's really interesting to me. It's sort of a fantasy books, kind of a steampunk world, steampunk aesthetic, but not really. It's not steam. It's like magic. But the aesthetic is kind of steampunk. It's sort of Dickensian stories.
Oh, I love that.
Only with magic.
Have you watched Dickensian on
cool.
Netflix?
I haven't, no.
Oh, it's so good, Shalene. It's so good.
But it's sort of Charles Dickens meets Jane Austen with magic.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
I love those period pieces. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed those, and I recommend them. Stormglass and Mirrorgate from Jeff Wheeler. I actually got an early copy of Mirrorgate, which was pretty cool. So that one comes out next month, I think.
I want to point out that I really like the name Briefcases.
Yeah, wasn't that clever?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty clever. You know, so I was going through the show notes, right? And I saw this, and I thought, hey, yeah, we haven't talked about books for a while. So I thought I would add one of my own. I recommend that you guys check out You Do You. It's written by Sarah Knight out of New York. And I read it while I was laying by the poolside in Spain, and I finished it in 3 days. And it was a really good, I guess you could call it a self-help book. She wrote other books like The Art of Not Giving a F-U-C-K, and other books like that. But this one is more about how to stand up for who you are and what you want, the things you need, and the things that you deserve in life. So I really recommend it if you're going through a difficult time.
Cool. Thanks.
Or even if you're not going through a difficult time, read it anyways. It's it's a feel-good book.
All right. And that was that book show for this week.
Yeah, that was the book stack.
Bookstack! Bookstack! Yes! Spin-off podcast. Bookstack.
Here we go. Planning the show on the show.
I love it. I love it. Bookstack. So, I can't segue from this. Let's do the challenge.
Speaking of challenging segues.
That's what I was going to say. This next segue is kind of a challenge.
Good. You're good. You're good. Okay, challenge. This one was from Archin. He says, I couldn't find a decent bush. Thankfully, there are plenty of barrels lying around.
Oh, that's good.
He's in Sea of Thieves, and he's standing behind the barrel in a way to camouflage anything that we would not be allowed to show you on this podcast.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. Thanks for sharing, Archin.
That was a good one, Archin. This one's from Captain Bones, who always brings his A game.
Always. Is that? I think that's one of the cigarette brands on that poster in the background.
That is a beer truck.
That's beer.
It's a beer truck.
Yeah,
full of beer. It says party supplies.
I like how his hat says Dunce.
Yeah.
Dunce.
Yeah.
It's a GTA 5.
GTA Online. Yeah.
GTA Online.
I love the little bushels of hair. It's great. I believe that it is actually a skeleton.
Oh, I was gonna say it looks like it's in the shape of the Giving Tree.
Schleen, you're so innocent. But he's showed this character before, I think.
You're right. Yeah, I think it is a skull.
It's been a skeleton. Yeah.
But,
a skull. Yeah.
When it's just the top, it looks like his chest hair is in the shape of the Giving Tree.
Oh my gosh.
Oh dear. Wow.
This one comes from Amanda. She says, this is Liliana, who is based on my cat. I hope you appreciate that she is stripped down in survival mode because it is very cold.
Yeah, she's playing Skyrim.
Yeah, she's playing Skyrim, and she's also got a nice little picture of her cat right next to her PS4 controller. Indeed.
That's fabulous. That's a really good Khajiit.
This one is mine, which I'm on the beach, and I'm wearing my wolf. Yeah, I'm naked with my birthday suit pants, and I've got the wolf's head on, and I'm lying in one of those creepy dolphin whale things.
Nice.
That are beached.
I love how it pixelated your bum right there.
Yeah, those are there's this skin that you can put on. It's called the birthday suit, and it makes your bits blurred.
Yeah, that's pretty fabulous. And that was all of our challenge entries for this week.
So thanks for sharing, guys. What have we got on the docket for another challenge?
Well, since we were talking about clearing our gaming backlogs, I thought let's clear a game from our backlog. You know, you've got 2 weeks. Let's take that 2 weeks and save some money on buying new games or buying microtransactions or whatever. And let's clear a game that we've been meaning to play for a while. Let's beat something.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to tackle like Horizon Zero Dawn, you know, or something long, but you know, if you've got a copy of Dear Esther or something laying around, play that.
I should probably finish Horizon Zero Dawn.
I actually need to too. I'm still pretty early on in Horizon, and it's so
You know what I'm really itching to get back into is Stardew Valley.
It has the multiplayer now.
That is just the happiest feeling game ever.
Yeah.
It's just so happy.
Yeah. I think I would enjoy it. I'm a little nervous though to tackle that one because I'm afraid it would take over my life.
Yeah, I'm also afraid of that. I think that maybe we should start with some No Man's Sky and maybe the Sea of Thieves update.
Mm-hmm. I may do for this challenge Virginia. That's like a mystery game, a short indie mystery game that I've had that I've been meaning to play for a long time now. So
you know what we'll also finish on the backlog is Life is Strange.
Yeah,
Episode
true.
5. So.
Indeed. So
Well,
Clear
I'm
game from
excited to
your
see
backlog.
everybody's entries.
Me too. And
Yes.
how can they send
And
us those entries?
Rick, go ahead.
Oh, you can take a screenshot of the game case or whatever, maybe the credits of the game, and you can send us that picture at We Just Love Games with the hashtag Gamestack Challenge. I was like about to say the other one. It's not that right one. So hashtag Gamestack Challenge, and tweet that at us at We Just Love Games, and that's how you can let us know. We don't accept any other way because we'll miss it, and it's just easier to correlate all that data on Twitter.
Indeed. Thank
that's
you,
how-
Rick.
Also, please try to get your challenge entries in the Thursday before the show,
Yes.
so that we have time to compile everything and get it into a nice slideshow for you guys.
Right, because we often are just rushing home from work to do the podcast, and we wouldn't have time to get those in if you submitted them Friday. So, speaking of listener submissions, why don't we read some emails, guys? Who wants to
Yes,
take
let's
this
do
first
it.
one?
I'll take the first one.
Okay, go ahead.
You.
No, you first.
No, you.
I insist. I
You?
insist. I insist.
Okay.
I'm Canadian, which means you by default have to take it.
Greetings! Love the shows. The solution to the Detroit Become Human dilemma is that Shalene should send her copy to Vendertron so he can play it and she can't. Take care. And I missed this. What
So
is this about?
So this is in reference to the last episode of Gamestack, episode 20, I believe, where Shalene was talking about Detroit Become Human, and I was looking it up, and I became really riveted with how beautiful the characters were.
Right.
And then now I'm like wanting to play it.
And
But
I
it's
was
on
wanting
console,
to
is it
stop playing it because I was obsessed.
That's
Yeah.
right. Did you platinum it?
I did platinum it. Yeah, I
No.
did platinum it, and I'm still like watching YouTube videos. Like I followed a new YouTuber who just puts out Detroit videos like every day. Shout out to Swing Point on YouTube.
not? Goodness.
Yeah. So I was thinking, Vinder, here we are planning the show on the show again. But Detroit Become Human actually might be a pretty good game for us to stream together.
Yeah, I think so.
it's
Yeah.
we should consider that.
Yeah, we
So-
should do that, and then I would save money on buying it. What? I didn't say that.
Oh yeah, but I would be up for that if you're interested. So
Okay.
let's read another email. Who
Take it away,
Vendor?
Vendor.
It's your turn now.
All right. Hey guys, number one, thanks for putting together such a great and positive podcast. You bring a lot of joy to many lives. Number two, have you guys gotten on board with board games / tabletop games? I realize you are more video game centered network, but it seems to be that tabletop games and video games seem to influence each other quite heavily. A lot of video game franchises are getting into board games, Fallout, BioShock, etc., and a lot of video games are based on tabletop games. I'm sure that I've if the most played video games of all time has got to be Solitaire. Do you guys play tabletop games? If so, which ones?
So, are you into tabletop games at all?
I love tabletop games.
Yeah, talk about it.
I played Mad.
Ugh, the paw again.
It's
He
like-
wants to be petted. So I'm house sitting, right, for my sister, and they've got kids, and they love tabletop games. I'm gonna take a picture of their tabletop, like tabletop game Nook, and post it on Twitter. There's like 100 games. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of games. But my favorite of all time is probably Monopoly.
I love Monopoly.
Love Monopoly. Yeah.
Can we play
do-
Monopoly together online?
Yeah, if you've got Tabletop Simulator,
Let's do it. Let's
we
do
could
it.
play it together online.
I've always wanted to ruin our friendship.
That's gonna be we should do it for like a 24-hour charity stream though.
Oh, that would be great.
That'd be pretty good. What about you, Rick?
I play Magic the Gathering. I used to play it more heavily, and I guess that's tabletop. And that was kind of, I've also played the Babies versus Bears versus Babies game
Yeah.
from the Oatmeal. And we had the Not Safe for Work edition, which is the only way to go. And there's a couple other more silly games. I do have the XCOM board game. and me and my wife started to go through like the little tutorial, and we both had hemorrhages, so we just put it away because it is so. I think like certain complicated tabletop games have rule structures, kind of like how RPGs do, with like the color modes and like certain verbiage is just common through all RPGs. I think that they expected us to know certain things about tabletop RPGs and tabletop games that we were just like, no, and we couldn't do it. And so I've never played the tabletop version of XCOM, but
That's cool.
Magic the Gathering we do play. Oh, I also have the Magic the Gathering board game too. I should try that.
I did recently play at Christmas recently. Pandemic.
Oh
Pandemic.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of fun.
Of course
That's
you would like that one.
It's I know it's like my profession, right? But you there's a lot of role playing in that game. So you have to choose to be like an engineer or a paramedic or like a medic or a scientist or politician or whatever, and you have certain powers and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You got to work together as a team. It's very strategic. Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, Shalene?
I used to play a bunch of like Chinese checkers and canasta and stuff with my grandma and grandpa back in the day.
Yes, backgammon.
Yeah, canasta was the best. Oh, I could not play backgammon with them because they were too advanced. They were too advanced at backgammon. I couldn't even. They were playing a different game. When my grandma and grandpa would play backgammon, like it was just little tokens flying everywhere. Just they would play so fast. I never could pick up the rules. But canasta was fun, and Chinese checkers was fun. My grandma is the master of Chinese checkers, or was, back when she was able to do that kind of thing.
You know what I find about board games is that they are an incredible mental exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel really refreshed after playing them. Like I'm more sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm kind of choked up now thinking about those old days, and yeah, like that's not really something that Grandma can do anymore, and so let's move on.
So let's move on to our third number 3. Would you guys be open to playing Fallout 76 or any other games with some of your fan base? I bet if you wanted to raise money, you could auction raffle a chance to join the squad for a session or something. Just a thought.
We could sell ourselves on the internet. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know if one of you guys want to answer this, but I will say that we have played video games in the past with some of our great fans, Archin, Joseph Tao, and a couple others in chat. So...
I still feel super weird calling the listeners fans.
Yeah.
That's not
listeners.
They're listeners.
That said,
fans.
I do enjoy playing Vidya games with our lovely listeners.
I think too that we batted around the idea of getting a private server specifically for the Discordians.
Right.
The Discordians.
I like that. The Discordians for when it comes out. But we're still batting around ideas. Obviously, we have no idea what's going to happen with Fallout 76. So, but yeah, I don't think it's something we're opposed to doing.
Certainly not. No. Yeah. I think that's a great thought. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, we almost certainly are going to be playing with the community. So.
And this email is by Nate Shapiro. Once again, our lovely Mr. Shapiro. He says, you guys are great. I saw in the Facebook group someone dogging on Vtron. You guys are great as a triple threat. So thanks for sticking up for me. Appreciate it.
Indeed. Thank you, Nate. And thank you, Vendor, for reading those emails. So, guys, does anybody have any plugs or announcements?
Unfortunately, I won't be here on Sunday for Days of Our Life is Strange, so we're going to have to postpone that. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Rick's unplugged, so he's got audio issues, so I will speak
wow.
on his
How did that happen?
Oh.
I'm just saying, this is the only plug I have.
Oh, you were doing
That's
a thing.
terrible.
You were doing
It's
a
terrible.
thing.
See that door behind you, Rick? That's right there. You could just, yeah.
So, that Fallout show next week, we'll be doing another one of these podcasts. This one will be about Fallout. We hope you will enjoy it. And you can email us. Please send us some emails like Lee and Nate did to info@wejustlovegames.com. info@wejustlovegames.com. Find us on Twitter. We Just Love Games. Shalene L. SHALINEL. Rick McVick. Vendortron N. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/wejustlovegames. facebook.com/groups/wejustlovegames. We're also on Discord. We have a Discord server. Message any of us anywhere else for a link, and we will get you joined up to our Discord server. That is probably the place where the discussion is the most active, is the Discord.
Yeah, it's very active. So active that I often can't keep up with it, and I just chime in here and there.
Yeah. We love the Discord, and we love the people that are in it. We record this show live at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. Go ahead and give that Twitch channel a follow if you're one of the audio folks who does not really listen live. Go ahead and give that Twitch page a follow, twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. Get yourself an alert when we go live, just in case you're free. You know, we'd love to have you in the live chat.
Also, as a side note, you can actually download the streams from Twitch.
Oh, that's cool.
You can download the videos. So
That's
if
pretty
you
nifty.
if that's something that you are into doing, you can do that.
And if it's not something that you're into doing, you can also find us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and a bunch of other places. Like probably what's that streaming thing called? Spotify. You can find us on Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify.
Yep.
You can find us on all kinds of different places. So just
On the Wi-Fi.
yeah, underneath a rock somewhere, you know, floating around on an island in the middle of the ocean. You can find us everywhere.
You can find us in the restricted section.
Indeed. Thanks for listening, everybody.
See ya.